Hi everyone, and welcome back to Leon's Money Flow. Today we're going to be talking about something that honestly doesn't get enough attention in the investing space, and that is split share funds. Now, if you've been investing in Canada for a while, you might have seen some of these funds floating around with high yields, monthly distributions, and surprisingly strong long-term performance. And the crazy thing is, some of these split share funds have actually performed phenomenally over the last 20 or so years while paying investors consistently along the way. But with that income comes complexity and risk. And I think a lot of people either don't fully understand how these funds work, or they just completely avoid them because the structure sounds too confusing. So in today's video, we're going to be breaking down everything in simple terms, and we'll go over what split share funds actually are, how they work, the different types of shares, the pros and the risks, and then later in the video, I'll screen share and show you some popular split share funds, show you their historical performance, and whether or not I personally hold any of those funds. And of course, here's a quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and this video is just for informational and educational purposes only. Always do your own research before making any sort of investment decision. And if you enjoy these informational and transparent investing videos, it would genuinely help the channel a lot if you hit the like button and subscribe. It really supports the channel and it helps me continue making these videos. Alright, let's get into it. So first off, what exactly is a split share fund? So at a basic level, a split share fund is an investment fund that takes a portfolio of stocks, usually blue chip dividend paying companies, and then splits the returns of that portfolio into two different types of shares. There are preferred shares and Class A shares, sometimes known as capital shares. And this is where the split comes from. The preferred shareholders usually get lower risk, priority in distributions, and a more stable income. Meanwhile, the Class A shareholders get high yields, more upside potential, but also significantly more risk compared to preferred shares. So essentially, one portfolio gets divided into two investment products with different risk-reward profiles. A lot of split share fund companies in Canada hold names like the banks, utilities, telecoms, pipelines, and other dividend-paying companies. Here's an example to help illustrate the fund structure. Imagine a split share fund that owns $100 worth of Canadian banks. Then that $100 gets divided into preferred shares and Class A shares. Then, as the fund grows and receives dividends from its portfolio, the preferred shareholders are given a fixed distribution first. Then whatever income or gains are left over goes and transfers to the Class A shareholders. So the Class A side basically absorbs most of the market movement and risks. So if markets do well, the Class A shareholders can perform extremely well, and this is due to the structural leverage of the fund, which I'll touch upon in a bit. And the second point is that the investors can collect those juicy distributions. But on the other hand, if markets end up falling hard, then the Class A shares price gets hit first and distributions can be withheld. The condition for Class A shares to pay out distributions is that the sum of a preferred share and a Class A share is over 15. That number can be different, but it's most commonly 15. Alright, that's enough theory. Let's hop into the Screenshare and we'll take a look at some popular split share funds, the historical performance, and I'll also share which ones I personally watch and hold. Alright, so before I hop into some split share funds, I want to highlight this video from Brompton Funds where they have an introduction to split share funds, and I find it's very great at explaining everything. Brompton is a leading provider of split share funds and ETFs. So there's two structural advantages of split share funds that I want to point out. So first of all is that there's a built-in capital protection mechanism, and basically this is like when I told you guys that the Class A shares distributions will only be paid out if the unit NAV is above $15. The unit NAV, remember, is the Class A share plus one preferred share, right? So this allows capital to be preserved in the fund at low points so that the fund can benefit strongly during the recoveries. And the second point is that there's structural leverage built into the fund. And so this is when I talk about how all the upside and the market volatility of preferred shares is transferred to the capital shares, right? Or the Class A shares. And so I'll show you some scenarios later, but how this works. But basically, this structural leverage also eliminates the fund from like borrowing money from other institutions. So this eliminates margin calls, and there's less fees with that. So here, let me show you some examples also on their website. So let's say that we have an initial portfolio of $20 in the split share fund, so $10 in preferred share, $10 in Class A shares. I'm not sure why it says 11 here, but it so the first scenario is the market increases 5%, so that $20 becomes $21, right? And then so the preferred share wouldn't change, but the Class A share would go from $10 to $1. $10 to $11, which is a 10% increase, right? So that's how the leverage is baked in. And on the other side, if the market declines by 5%, that 5% would make the total portfolio go from 20 to 19, and then preferred shares would stay the same, but then the Class A share would go from 10 to 9, which is a 10% decrease. So we can see that over the long term, if the portfolio goes up, the Class A shares can benefit a lot from the structural leverage, right? All right, so this is Brompton's site for split share funds. So we have funds like SBC, LBS, GDV. So this is like holding the banks. This is just holding, SBC is holding banks. LCS is holding like life insurance companies. LBS is a combination of both, for example. And then GDV is like a bunch of dividend paying companies, I believe. Let's jump into it. It's a bit slow. Let's see. Oh, now it loaded. So if we look at the fund profile, we can see that it has international exposure. So top 10 holdings are, I don't know these, Well, Tower, Broadcom, you have Corning, Walmart, Apple, Seagate, and so on. But the one that I really like is SBC. And while that loads, let me just show you it's already here. So it just holds the tops, it just holds the 6 Canadian banks over here. And it has the split share structure with it, right? And it has like over 20 years of history now. If we look at the performance, so what is that? Performance over the more than 20 years has been over 2000%. So what is that? I'll give you a 22x if you held it that much. I also believe that the Class A shares always got their distributions, except for a few months in 2000 and around 2007 or 2008. So yeah, this is a fund that I'm actually in now. So if you look at the, past 3 years, it's up 175%. If we compare it to some other split share funds, so actually LBS is in the lead now. Well, what is this? This is from 2019. So yeah, from 2019 it's in the lead. But if we look at the last 3 years, LCS is in the lead, so insurance companies. But that's also that fund is pretty concentrated. It's only 4 holdings, the 4 life coasts, right? Like whether they're Manulife, Sun Life. Let me see what they are actually. So LCS. Look at the fund profile. So you have Manulife, Sun Life, Great West Life, and IA Financial Corp. I'm not sure I know that, but it's another one. But yeah, if you look at maybe let's just look at 1 year. SBC is outperforming everything. Let's just for fun, let's look at year to date. Year to date, we have SBC also outperforming, not a surprise there. It's been really great. So now I have 400 shares of SBC. I bought maybe like 2 weeks ago. I think I'm up a few percent. Although I'm not looking to trade this, right? So it doesn't really matter what's in the short term. I'm just holding this for the long-term appreciation and also distribution. I think, is that everything I covered? Yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. Make sure to do your own research. But I think this video gives you a good overview. Brompton is a leading provider of split share funds. There's also Quadravest. So there's BK from Quadravest. Let me show you. BK split share. So there's the Canadian Bank Corp. So this is like SBC, but from Quadravest, which is another company. It's not been doing as well. Like if we can add it to the comparison. Like where if we compare apples to apples, because they have the same holdings, right? So if we look at the last 3 years, yeah, SBC has been doing a little better or way better than BK. Oh, one more thing I want to point out with these split share funds is that the distribution, at least for the ones in Brompton or the ones I've seen, they don't fluctuate. So if you see SBC has always paid 10 cents a month, this will never change. Like, it can get withheld, of course. I said how. It will actually tell you, I believe, at the bottom. Yeah. No distributions will paid out to Class A shares if the unit NAV is less than $15, right? And that's number 2. I think number 2, where's that? It talks about where's that 2 coming from? I don't know, but anyways, that's where it's from. Yeah, and my point was that it's always going to be 10 cents. They don't increase this. What they do, and they've done several times already, and I think in the past year they've done it like twice, maybe 3 times. I have a theory that another one's gonna come soon, which is it's gonna is the correct term split? Yeah, a stock split. So basically, for maybe every 100 shares you own, you'll get 115 or 110. And basically, they'll kind of increase the distributions that you get because you have more shares, but they'll still stay at 10 cents per unit. If that makes sense. But like if you look at the what is this? Yeah, if you look at the distribution, it's always been 10 cents. And also it's very tax efficient. I believe with SBC it's all been ROC, or like mostly ROC and capital gains. So yeah, it's very tax efficient here. It's I hold mine in non-registered, but that's just because I want to save my other accounts for other funds. But yeah, hope that gives you a great overview. Do your own research, and that's all I want to show you guys. So overall, I think split share funds are one of the most interesting income products in the Canadian market. They can provide high monthly income, exposure to strong dividend paying companies, and in some cases, even offer surprisingly solid long term returns. But they are definitely not risk free. You need to understand leverage, how dividends work and its sustainability, and how these funds behave during market downturns. Personally, I think they have a place in a portfolio if you understand the risks and size positions appropriately. Always understand what you own. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you own any split share funds? Which ones are your favorite? And do you think the yields are worth the additional risk? Especially now that we have spectacular funds like HDIV or any other cover call ETF, which pays us consistently month to month. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It genuinely helps support the channel and helps these videos reach more people. I appreciate you all for watching and take care. I'll see you guys in the next one.